got our whole...
There she goes.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are here at the original Goon Squad garage. And as you guys seen in the previous video, we actually went to the new commercial property where we installed our brand new office glass door. I gotta say that turned out absolutely amazing. And now we can officially call in the framers to just basically put together a lumber package. We're gonna go pick up all the lumber for them, and I think they're just gonna frame up that whole entire office. Then we can move on with the whole entire process. So we might update you guys here today or just whenever those guys get out there. But in the meantime, we're here at the original Goon Squad garage and we got a bunch of different options. Of course, we did the Jeep in the previous video as well. We kind of just threw on some fender flares. We got to throw on the other side and then a few other aftermarket parts. And maybe we will wheel this sucker, put it to the extreme testing around here somewhere. Or we can go ahead and move on to this Cadillac or get back onto this Cadillac. But it all depends on which parts are at the dealership. So we called them this morning and they said like 15 to 20 more parts have arrived. And we already got a bunch of parts in the garage. We got body panels. We can start even painting, honestly, like the jams and stuff like that.
Yeah, underneath the hood and on the insides of the fenders, and that's pretty much it. That's all we have to paint, and then later we paint the rest of the car.
That is right. Or we could jump back onto the TRX, but actually we can't do nothing to the TRX. There's no parts for the TRX. The only thing we can do to that thing is just put the pedal to the metal and put the steam in the air, dude.
Yeah, and paint a little bit on the bottom, but that's we'll probably wait until we get everything for the bed before we do that.
Yeah, that's right. So we don't want to jump around too much, but you know what? We're juggling like 3 builds right now, and we could just reveal something new maybe, but I don't think we're gonna do that. We're not doing that no more.
No, we're not doing that.
That's it. We got to finish 3 builds on our hands right now, plus a major build, the building over there. So there's actually a lot of epic stuff we could do there, and we got to do a lot of brainstorming.
And the helicopter, don't forget, man. We got big things coming for the helicopter.
Forget about it, man. We got a lot of stuff going on, so we're not gonna reveal anything new until something gets done up in here. But anyways, I say we go ahead, probably start with running up to the dealership, seeing what Cadillac parts they have for us, and then we'll just go from there.
All right, so back from the dealership with the whole entire slew of parts, round 2, and this was around what, like a couple thousand more dollars?
$2,500 right there.
$2,500 more bucks, which that leads us to around $10,000. So we're waiting on $2 more thousand worth of parts.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's it, and that should be our frame rails. So we didn't have any luck with frame rails today. We couldn't pick those suckers up, but you know what? They're gonna be here in like a week or so. But more importantly, we got all of our body panels, our front bumper, which this thing is just already primered in, beautiful. Got a little chip there, no big deal. Look at this, dude. It even has vents already pre-built in. They suck air into there and blow it out of there. I don't know what that does, what that's good for, but it does it, dude.
Maybe for the brakes or something. Who knows?
Who knows? And also we got our other fenders, so we can technically go ahead and sand down the bottom of the hood, the insides of the fenders, paint all that stuff up, buy some beautiful paint, and I mean, have that stuff ready for the front end, because as soon as those frame rails come in, that whole front end is going together.
That is right, but we did get some other pretty important pieces. We got the other headlight right there, which is pretty sweet, and it doesn't have any xenons in there, does it?
Yeah, well, newer cars now don't have like a bulb. They now have just LED like lights basically. So there's 3 little LED pods, whatever you call them, and they're underneath there, and they're super bright, man. It's the future right there. Got a box of miscellaneous stuff right there, and also we got our front splitter for this bumper, which is already painted black. That's always awesome. But the most important thing out of this whole entire parts haul is this piece right here. This right here is our transmission cooler line, dude.
Yep, and ours are broken or like busted up or something like that, and that's why the car won't drive. Hopefully that's what we're thinking.
That's what we're thinking. So there's no, I don't think there's because it was leaking whenever we got the car, and that was like the main thing. We're like, the car doesn't drive because there's probably no transmission fluid in there. And then we looked at the lines that were actually cracked, so we got these brand new lines. They actually like snake through the engine bay, which is gonna be pretty crazy to change this. Hopefully we don't have to do too much. May have to take the whole engine out or something, dude. It'd be crazy, dude.
It would be awesome to go ahead and replace that first. That way we could throw on our transmission cooler, which I think we got all of our coolers, honestly.
I believe we got all of our coolers. We still got a ton of boxes to open up. We'll probably open up all the cooler boxes that look like coolers, and once we get that replaced, we can possibly throw everything back together, throw it onto the car like for zip ties right now, put the fluids in and see if this thing drives.
Dude, that would be super epic. So I guess we're just gonna start with that, and I guess we're gonna test out our tranny. If not,
then putting it back on the lot.
Alrighty guys, so check this out. We are figuring things out, moving right along, and the very first thing that we did was install that brand new transmission line right there, which honestly it turned out to be a lot easier than I expected. All we had to do was just pop out this axle shaft over here, which good thing we actually popped that sucker out because we noticed that there was a cut in it and it was slinging grease everywhere, so we'll have to get that fixed. We'll probably just either buy a new boot and replace it or buy a whole new axle shaft. And we even connected this brand new transmission cooler, which it sits flat like that, so I really don't get the purpose of it sitting flat, but that's pretty neat.
I guess it don't need that much airflow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe it does get a ton of airflow the way it's designed, because the Corvette's like that and the Camaro.
Maybe you actually want your transmission fluid to heat up and stay nice and warm. Who knows? But anyways, we got that right there, and also we then moved on to cracking open all of our parts. Just take a peek in there, dude. A bunch of just parts all over the place, a bunch of parts over here, and the reason why we cracked everything open was to find all of our radiators, all of our coolers, and we basically figured that system out and we just put it together. Let's just hop over here, show you guys exactly how it works. So this right here is actually a turbo cooler, which interconnects with the other two little coolers on the left and right side of the bumper. And it's crazy because that's a lot of cooling for two little small turbos, dude.
Hey man, that's it. I think, is this an air to water or something cooler system? Whatever, however these turbos work, but it's crazy. There's a bunch of them for this like V6 twin turbo,
dude. That is pretty wild. So that right there is a turbo cooler, and then this right here is your condenser, and then you got a cooler for your radiator fluid that cools the engine.
Flip it up. Let's see the fans, the brand new fans and stuff. This was probably super expensive, this whole entire setup right here, dude.
Super expensive stuff right here, but you know what? We're not worried about that. We want to test this sucker out. So we got that figured out, mocked it up, and then we had to pop it back off because we can't really basically install everything until we get our frame rails, which we just got a call while we were working on this, is that our frame rails could be in either tomorrow morning or the day after that. Then that'll allow us to basically pop on this cooler in this section, this cooler in this section, and then just connect
the rest
everything
of the coolers, dude,
and allow us to start this car up. And also we popped on the new air box right here because our old one was cracked. And there is something else that we noticed. That little box right there, I believe, is broken, so we'll have to order that. And also we were trying to get some transmission fluid, which Pops was running around town. And did you find any?
No, nobody keep it like this. It's a new cars, you know, new model.
All
We need
dealership
the
stuff.
dealership.
All dealership stuff. So we'll probably go to the dealership and get some transmission fluid, top it off, and maybe even get some coolant and just
Everything.
Everything
I mean,
that
if
we
our
need.
frame rails come in tomorrow, dude, that's gonna be awesome because we can go ahead and just smack all the coolers on.
Yeah,
dude.
that's going to decide if we could actually test drive this car or not, is if
Yeah.
those frame rails come in. But other than that, I think what we're going to do right now is just clean everything up and just probably put this car aside for now until tomorrow, and maybe just hop onto that Jeep over there and throw on those other fender flares on this side and also that rear bumper, dude.
Dude, I'll say we do that all the way because we got some epic stuff coming for that thing. We're not finished with it, and I think we just got to keep moving sometimes with
Dude,
it.
let's do it. Let's go ahead and get that sucker looking right. Guys, so it is the next day here, and last night we ended up throwing on the rest of the fender flares and also the rest of the body armor on this side, and now it's super clean, matching all the way around. And also this morning we threw on our brand new rough country rear bumper, which this thing just looks like it gives it way more clearance, so you can go up steeper stuff, back into like trees, perhaps your buddy's Jeep if he's too close or whatnot, and also got some shackles here, that way you can pull your buddy out as well. And don't mention the flush mount little reverse lights that we're gonna wire up to the reverse lights, because these little bulbs don't like put off no light at all, dude.
That's right, man. That's gonna be nice, especially at night, and you even get a little tow package right there,
That's flush
dude.
mount, which means I don't know, but it looks good, dude.
Yep, you'll put just a hitch in there, and that's all you need, really.
Yeah, I
haul
mean-
your buddy's boat.
Yeah, but for the most part, this is pretty much it for like the body armor and stuff like that. Unless we ended up doing like some body armor on the doors, which that's an option. We don't know if we're gonna do that just yet. But we're not gonna keep moving with this thing. We're gonna go ahead and off-road it. But this thing is not really that capable right now because it needs lockers, man. It just slips really easily. So we'll probably put this thing aside because we got way more important things to do right
Yes,
now.
sir.
We just got a phone call from the dealership that our frame rails are actually in for the Cadillac, which that's just super exciting because that can perhaps mean we can drive that thing, you know?
That is right.
Put the rails on, put the coolers on, get some transmission fluid, get some coolant, man, just put that
Everything.
thing, and possibly see if that thing actually drives, because as of right now, it don't drive at all, dude.
Yeah, hopefully that transmission's not blown. That's
Yeah.
my main concern. But I say we just, head up to the dealership?
Yeah, head up to the dealership, grab what we can, come back, and see if we can get that thing moving.
Dang, son.
Dude, got our whole cooling system 100%,
Dude, would you look at that right there? That was definitely kind of a puzzle, but nothing that we can't
Dude,
handle.
once those brand new frame rails went right in its original spot, I mean, they went in perfectly along with our OEM reinforcement bar here. And the good thing about this being original is because I can see exactly where it screwed on from factory, and they went right back in that spot, dude.
That is awesome. Got all the coolers in this spot as well. Look at this transmission cooler. So I guess this is to kind of save space, and it still like scoops and gets
Hey, it
bunches of
cools
airflow.
those off, and it cools this off off. I mean, it doesn't need much for a transmission. I mean, as you can tell, it probably like scoops it in from the grill, which is really awesome. Got these little like air ducts for the little auxiliary radiators. I mean, this is just looking OEM, dude.
Dude, exactly what you said right there. We are missing one of these ducts for this side. I think we ordered 2 of the same ones. No big deal. We'll order that little stuff a little bit later.
It's always the little stuff. And also one little hose that we have to order right here that we didn't notice is actually cracked off. So we're not going to be pouring any coolant today. Our main thing is to pour in our transmission fluid. So we got the exact stuff right here, the Dextron ULV automatic transmission fluid. Hopefully we have enough, and pour it up. And before we do that, we got to put in that suspension, right?
Yeah, we'll put together this whole entire suspension, just the axle shaft and a couple bolts. And I think you filled this up from the side.
Yeah, from the side of the transmission. So we're gonna have to find the fill hole, unscrew it, pump it up in there, and see if these wheels will actually spin.
Alrighty guys, so there you have it. We finally got this Cadillac driving under its own power, which is a really good sign because that means that that transmission is most likely 100% A-OK. We did put around 6 quarts of transmission fluid, and I think it needs a little bit more, so we're not gonna drive it around too much. As long as we can move it around the property, we can move it along with the whole entire process, which next thing that we're gonna do is probably focus on the body panels, probably paint all the jams, and hopefully that radiator support comes in here really soon. And like, we're just lacking a few little minor parts, and then we'll be ready to rip this sucker on the road, pedal to the metal to see what that V6 twin turbo's got, dude.
You got that right. Just a few more little miscellaneous pieces and a paint job, and we're good to go,
That's
man.
right. Also, we ended up changing out this tie rod right here because the other one was bent, so now it drives straight. Hopefully, definitely will need alignment and all that good stuff. But you know what? That's going to be all in the next video, which make sure you guys have your post notifications on so you don't miss out on anything. And also, if you want an inside scoop before YouTube, definitely give us a follow on Instagram at goonzquad. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Be sure to drop your comments and thoughts down below. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.